Oh, very less participants today. Okay, interesting. No worries. We'll start. First, those who are appearing August exam and those who are appearing Feb exam. Those who are appearing August exam, you have two books in your syllabus. We are talking today for marriage counseling only. The syllabus name is, the course name, Masterclass Marriage Relationship Counseling and Family Therapy. Right. August exam batch, you have two books. Correct. Focus more on the marriage counseling relationship test book. Majority of questions will come from that. The other book which you have is a couple activity book. That book includes couple activities for improving relationship, rekindle love, rekindle passion, develop trust, reduce boredom among couple, and that you use it for your practice. You can use it for yourself also. Okay, and the major 50%, 50 questions will come, and all the questions majority will come from marriage relationship book. Okay, questions are some are direct, like out of 50 questions, 10 to 15 questions are direct, and 35 questions are case studies. So there will be case scenarios and what is your answer and what should be you be doing. There is no negative mark, so appear all the questions. 60 minutes are there. 60% is a passing, and if you score less marks, less than 60, you can attempt second time in February. Do not do second attempt by any manipulation in August, right? So that manipulation, I will give example. For example, you give one attempt, you score less, like maybe 62, 64, and you want to upgrade your score. It is not allowed. You will be disqualified. Okay. So what they do is they will ask the relation manager, or they will just WhatsApp to me or someone that please send the link, and they get the second link and they appear. So you will get disqualified in that scenario, because the relation manager or I will not check before sending the second link whether you have appeared first time. So it is your responsibility to not do malpractice. It is your responsibility to not do second attempt unless we are satisfied that it was because of technical error. Okay. 50 questions, 60 minutes, but first 10 minutes will go for writing your name, mobile, email, postal address, your all details. So at the end, you will have 1 minute, one question. So don't depend on that you will open the book to answer the questions. You will not find time. And so at least read twice. If you read twice, I assure you, you will score 80% marks. If you read once, you will score 70% marks. And those who depend, okay, I will open the book on time and will appear exam, will find answers from the internet because you are very fast. So be assured you will fail. Those who have recently enrolled or not for the August exam, do not do misadventure, appear Feb exam. As of now, you focus on the knowledge. Once you appear exam, you are removed from the webinar list. After exam, you will not be appearing for webinars. Okay. So if you want webinar, it means your knowledge is incomplete. Then why you want to have an adventure of appearing exam, right? Just for certificate. We'll make sure you will fail there. Okay. For Feb batch exam, those who have received the books, total approximate 2 or 3 books will be there, depending on the edition which you have received. Okay. So start with the couple activity book, because that is very interesting and it gives a lot of activities to try in your personal life as well as tell to your friends, relatives, and clients. Then go to the relationship book and the green book, right, which includes some part of theory plus relationship test. Okay, and try to use this test, read the test, and think what cross questions you can use. Okay, you can refer to some of my videos for using relationship test. And the third book, if you have, it is not there in everyone because the edition has changed. Okay, so in the change edition, like we have divided the book. Okay, so that's why it becomes 2 book instead of 3. Okay, so either you, for Feb exam, either you have 2 books or the 3 books. Don't worry, the syllabus will be the same. Exam will come majority from the green book. the book which includes the test. So that will be the exam-based book. Yes, good question, Dr. Vani, and that answer is there in the book. We'll cover that in some of the webinar. So there is a topic which I have added on shyness. It definitely affects the relationship dynamics if the other person is not understanding. And to identify that or to patch up the couple, you will use one of the relationship tests. So maybe like stonewalling or critique. How do you handle critique? Exam date. So we have, this is a third session. We are covering the exam date. Tentative date is 10 to 20 August. Okay. Final date will come. We will announce it soon. Okay. So for we already covered. These questions are repeated now. Okay. Yeah, wait. So those who want to know more details, more examples, more explanation, and you are recently enrolled, you are very talented that you are reading the book, that is good. I'm impressed. So wait for those webinars to happen. So once you read more book, attend more webinars, you will learn more on this, and most of your things will go away. Yes, the same thing. Manisha, I repeated the same thing. Majority questions will be from the book which includes the test. Okay, so the questions may not be from the test majorly, but the theoretical component of that book, major questions will be from there. If you doubt, you can WhatsApp me the photos of the books which you have. I will reply to you. So this was about the exam. So we start with the relationship test or some case studies. So who wants to bring up a case study? Anyone? I'll wait for 1 minute for you to give some case study. Those, and for next time assignment, shall I pick up some names and tell them to prepare some case studies? Wow, interesting. So the person I thought I will give some case study is not there today. Okay. Dr. Vani, my dear, wait for some webinars. You will get all the learnings and it will not happen in the first month itself. It will happen with time. So you have a lot of time, my dear. February is the exam. A lot of time is there. Okay. Next time, Tanvi will prepare some case study for next Wednesday, and by Saturday, Tanvi will send me a case study and how to solve that based on relationship test. We will take this case from Kinjal. Okay. So personal case studies we will avoid in the open forum because this will go on the channel as well as everyone is there. So for personal case, you can discuss with me. I will allot you some marriage counselor if you wish to help you out. And Pooja's case is about the relative. So invalid case. The rule for marriage counseling is you should not manage a relative's case. Okay, because the relatives will not be open to you and you are also not open to that relative, and you are always biased towards one person, one couple, right, one spouse. So you should avoid taking relative as a client for, especially for marriage counseling. So we'll take this Kinjal's case. It sounds interesting. The case is, I know a couple who are good individuals. As an individual, they are very good, but together they are toxic. And now Kinjal wants some solution to speak to them. That is interesting, right? So why they have turned to be toxic towards each other? So that is the number one question. You will ask them to write an essay. Okay, give this question, one single question, why you turned out to be toxic to your partner, And the second question, why do you think your partner turned out to be toxic towards you? So give them complete freedom. They can write anything and anything. So they can write the person is toxic by nature. They can write the person is toxic with everyone. They can write the person is toxic with only the spouse and not others. And what are the reasons? So reason can be for because of that person. Reason can be because of this person, right? So Allah give them complete freedom. Ask them to write an essay, and depending on the essay, then you uh, discuss. Okay. Second is you will use some relationship test. So start why they are toxic when the relationship is toxic. So what is happening is one is there is a problem with the critic. Okay, one person is probably like saying that okay, so today salt is less. Another person is like, okay, why don't you ask your mother to cook food then? Like, okay, so today husband has decided to cook something, and then wife says actually the taste is average. Then husband is like, okay, it was my mistake. I tried cooking you and trying impressing you. Why don't you cook yourself? Then fight starts. The whole day goes bad. So the test you will use here is critic, right? How do you handle criticism in the marriage, right? So sometimes the statement may not be critic. It may be an like opinion, okay, but the other person is taking as a critic. Sometimes that may be a sincere critic, but that other person is very skeptic and taking it as a very bad way, right? So how do you handle criticism in the relationship? The second is the behavior which demonstrates a toxic relation. So there are two aspects. One is what is the cause why you are behaving like a toxic couple, okay. The second can be why, what is the behavior that makes you a toxic couple? What is a behavior your spouse exhibits, or what is a behavior you exhibit that makes it a relationship toxic? So that can you can run the test: respect, love. How do you express anger? How do you stonewall yourself, or you stonewall your spouse? Right. So these four relationship tests you can use. Ideally, one relationship test you can use in one uh, setting. Okay. Ask the couple to do it separately, discuss the couple separately, then discuss together. If you want, I can give demo that again today. Okay, Kinjal, you want to unmute and talk about this case study in detail so that everyone will get the perspective? Good idea. Can you raise your hand, Kinjal, please? Very good, Kinjal. Yes, Kinjal, please unmute. Yes, please
Hi,
take
sir.
it from the beginning without
Yes,
identifying the name of the clients.
yes, of course. So, sir, both this couple have been together in a different situation. They're a young couple, and what we know about is their situation changed as they have been abroad and came back to their real life. Now, what happened was when they were in abroad, they were uh, only they two were there over there. But when they came back to their own life, now they have to see about their parents. They have to be in around their family and relatives, and go back to their individual homes. Now whenever they fight, what happened is, especially the girl, she makes it about herself, and she includes everybody in it, like nobody understands her except that guy. So now thing has happened is, everybody is the same. The only person has changed here is that girl. Okay. And now, for her, that guy has become the center of her universe. And no matter what her parents say, her sister says, or anybody says, or her friend says, it doesn't matter to her until and unless it's about that guy. And everybody in her house has changed, have seen the changes in her. She makes all her life important decisions, whether it's career or anything personal, according to that guy. and it has been affecting her family a lot.
So first you talk to the husband and then the wife. Okay, try to identify. There are three things. One is some misunderstanding or something is there. Second
Yes.
possibility is that girl, the wife is going through certain emotional turbulence or some condition. Okay, right? Sometimes uh, bipolar disorder, OCD, some other condition, right? Or maybe a change in the country, culture, environment, everything. So what she has learned, and that is completely another cultural shock, something like that. The third aspect can be cognitive distortion. Okay, so this is a very important concept. So what is cognitive distortion? For example, like wife tries calling husband in the office during working hour, and husband does not answer one time. She gets angry. If the husband does not answer second time, she will assume that he is not in office, or he is with outside with someone else, or he is having affair, or okay, husband is ignoring it, right? Then she tries calling her friend. If friend also does not answer the call, she will assume that no one answers the phone. Then she tries calling her parents or family, like a brother or a sister. If she does not get that answer, then she will assume everyone is ignoring me. And then she will start having self pity. Okay. So the objective is to feel self pity. That's why she is having cognitive distortion. Here, she needs to get trained that people might be busy. So it's not necessary that everyone is going to answer your phone. Okay. So these are the part of something called cognitive distortion. Educate her this part. Okay. And not to think negative in every aspect. Okay. If you really suspect your husband, then you should go to the office and see for yourself. But once you do it, and if he is working there or not working, at least in the office, busy sometime, so you come back and then stop doing that, right? The objective is not to every time your husband does not answer the phone, go in the office and check in. That is not the objective. Okay. So think something rationally. So opposite of cognitive distortion is rational thinking. Okay. So is it happening with her? You think that there is a cognitive distortion? Kinjal, please unmute.
So I think she's not aggressively showing that, but yes, there is some sort of issues that she's going through individually, and I think the only person she is confiding into is her partner, her husband. So,
So that's
and
a
plus that, yeah, and that husband is very he's not behaving the same way she is, so that way only the person who is having issues is her in this situation.
hmm. So if you do research on long-term side effects of suffering from COVID or Corona, so after 6 months or 1 year, there have been studies which says that cognitive distortion is being exhibited. Okay, or certain issues are there, emotional conditions or certain conditions people are experiencing. So that may be one of the reasons. So she will need some help for her emotional turbulence. That is one. Second, you run some test with her. Trust, respect, love, and try to identify which is the part that is affecting her. Okay, right? And try to identify what is the reason of she not being happy in the marriage, and ask her frankly what does she want. Okay, so ask a very open-ended frank questions. Do you want to move out of the relationship? Do you want to stay in the relationship and separate for a few years? Do you want to continue this relationship, or do you want to make this guy suffer by being in this relationship? What do you want? Ask her very frank and open questions. Challenge her on this part. right? And there is something also, if someone might have a bipolar disorder. So what happens in bipolar disorder? Someone may have a depressive episode. Okay, person seems normal or depressed or low activity. Then there is a episode which is either hypomaniac or maniac. Okay, that is a time when their life goes turbulent, and then again they have a depressive episode. The life becomes less dramatic, and then again there is a hypomania or mania, right? So such people will always have dramatic events or dramatic months in their career, finance, jobs, business, and relationship. Okay, so that is one differential diagnosis. It's not the final diagnosis. Okay, so she will need a lot of evaluation from a marriage counselor perspective. Why this client is exhibiting this? Okay, so everything is yes. So cognitive distortion, yes. Fights, yes. Then this dramatic months, yes. Okay. So when this hypomania happens now, so these are the months when person will have so much confidence, so much like godlike behavior. Okay, I can do this, I can do that, I can control this person, I can like manipulate things and all those things. So if that is exhibition, then you need a psychiatric evaluation. Okay. Uh, from the marriage counseling perspective, you will run few tests. Then, uh, like from my previous sessions, you can take up uh, how to then challenge the how to challenge the couple individually and combine together by doing those tests and try to open up their communication. So, Padma, that's a good point. So, narcissist personality is someone who will have delirium of grandiosity. Last time, a few weeks back, for the old batch, I have conducted one session on narcissist trait and how it affects relationship and how to protect yourself. Okay, so Kinjal, it seems like there are certain things which you are not disclosed about this client. So now you are saying that she says that she's suicidal when her partner is not with her. Okay, and then what is affecting her? What is the problem? So does she have a fear that her partner will lose, separate out? Does she have a separation anxiety, or is she going through uh, like overall depressed phase, right? So right, maybe she doesn't want to get into this Indian culture after living abroad, where she had no obligation to answer to her in-laws, parents, and all those things, and just she was happy with the her partner. So there are a lot of things you will need to understand this. So Kinjal, why don't you make a proper case study of this? Write all the points. Okay, what is the thing, and then explain in the next class, and then I will try to solve up that case using the counseling test. Okay, and will suggest some of the couple activities for this couple. So if you open up the couple activity book, you will find certain activities for helping such couples as well. Correct. So Padma is giving some differential diagnosis, narcissist personality, avoidant personality, avoiding responsibilities, all those things. So these are all differential diagnoses we cannot understand unless we talk to the client. So send the case study to me by Saturday, then we will run it up. We'll discuss on Monday or something, you and me on a separate call, and then we take up this on next Wednesday, if you send it. Correct. Personal counseling might be required. Any other? Correct. So marriage counselor, uh, the purpose of marriage counselor is to talk, but not only talk or listen, but have a scientific approach. And that scientific approach comes from using the relationship test and giving them advice based on those tests and doing some couple activities, advising them couple activities. Anyone has any other case study, or should we run one test today? What is your preference? In the new edition book, I have included how to get out of abusive relationships, uh, abusive relation. Then, if loneliness versus solitude, if you are lonely or if you are in a solitude, then how do you protect your emotional well-being? Okay. Then, if you are surrounded by people and if you feel lonely, how do you engage, keep yourself engaged so that you be connected with people around you? So all these chapters are there, and these are very useful and practical oriented chapters. Okay, this is for August, Feb exam batch. Then there is a chapter on ways to stay connected with your partner, how to be connected with your partner. Okay, we'll take up in some of the sessions. Then there is a very detailed chapter on how to improve your relationship. Should we take up this chapter? This is very interesting. How to get out of abusive relation. So this abuse can be any kind of abuse, emotional, physical, financial, any kind of thing. Yeah, that is more interesting today. What do you say? Yeah. What is that? Okay. So number one, we start with what are the signs of abusive relationship? So can everyone start writing what are the signs of abusive relationship? So the types of abuse can be financial, verbal, then physical, and all those things. Okay. So correct. So what are the signs that this relationship is abusive? Correct. Very good. More. Very good. So there are seven. Okay. So typical seven signs. So in abusive relationship, the one partner tries to isolate you from your friends and family, right? So you are feeling uncomfortable in front of your partner to talk to your friends and family. Second, your partner wants to know constantly where are you, what are you doing. Okay, so you see nowadays some YouTube shorts where girlfriend is asking where where are you, what are you doing right now. Okay. Third, complete control over finances, plans without discussion or career moves. Okay. Fourth, rarely take the responsibility for or admit your own fault. Fifth, manipulate or gaslight. Sixth, exhibit intense feelings and behavior like very obsessive, very possessive. You exhibit that behavior on one hand, and on the other hand, neglect, stonewalling, shut down, not communicating. If you are crying, partner is ignoring you. Another is engage in any kind of violence. It can be physical, emotional, verbal, or any kind of violence. Okay. So, but there are some reasons. Now, the question might be if the relationship is abusive, why someone doesn't exit from the relationship, because there are certain barriers. So what are those barriers? So the barriers can be, you have a you feel a very the strong bonding with your partner through trauma. Okay, so do you, like, if you talk like those who undergo physical abuse, especially maids and lower socioeconomic status women, if you ask them, why do you stay in the relationship? So that woman will say that husband is abusive, but he loves. And if you ask, give example how he expresses his love. So some of the women will answer that he expresses his love through abuse. That is very shocking and surprising. In lower socioeconomic status, if husband has two wives and one wife is abused and the other is not abused on that particular day or that week, so she will feel neglected, because them according to that relationship, the abuse is a form of bonding. Very shocking. You will not understand unless you talk to those level people, unless you talk to those who are in the relationship, because there is a trauma. Okay, if you're not gone through that, obviously you will not understand. You will not understand unless you talk to those people. Another reason for staying in the abusive relationship, your partner is not leaving you. Your partner is very controlling, very threatening. If you leave, then will leak out your videos, will spoil you, and all those things. Okay. The another reason is your safety concerns. So the victim does not know where to go or where to take the refugee in an abusive relationship, and doesn't have any place to go. Right. The victim lacks financial independence because it does not have a separate account, does not have a job, doesn't have financial backup. That's why staying in the abusive relationship. The another reason is victim does not know how the knowledge on how to leave. What are the steps to leave the relationship? Another is the victim will lack the support, either legal support, financial support, moral, emotional support, or family support, parental support, brother support. All those supports is lacking. Okay. One of the reasons to stay in abusive relationship is very common is fear, shame, and embarrassment. What will society think? What will relatives think? What will parents think? Okay, everyone has the image that our relationship is very good, and if I disclose that I am in an abusive relationship, what will they think? Okay, sometimes there is a fear of guilt that if I disclose that I'm in an abusive relationship, what will people think? That is it my fault, right? How will I manage that? Now, one of the very common reason to stay in abusive relationship is for the sake of children. Want to keep the family together, because what will be the impact on the children without the wife, or without uh, husband, like without mother or without father. And remember that the victim of an abusive relationship can be both ways. Just because you are a woman marriage counselor, it doesn't mean that the victim is a female. Victim of an abusive relationship can be husband also. Another is you are worrying that you don't know if you leave the relationship how your partner will feel or react. Correct? Right? So good answer, Neeraj. So you can say that political approach of dominating partner, the partner is dominating, controlling, influencing, threatening, or you feel threatened how the partner will react, and that's why you are unable to leave the relationship. Okay, all the kind of blackmail, all those things. Okay, but you have to move forward. So there are ways to move forward, and we will write down around 7 to 8 ways. Okay, so number one is create a safety plan. We will take each one in detail. Number two is build a safety network. Number three, remember why you left, and that is the reason you should not go back. Write a letter. Okay, don't go back. 4, put yourself first. 5th, trust your gut. Okay. 6th, work towards becoming independent. 7, find support group and organizations. 4th, take help of a counselor, trained marriage counselor. And the another one is look ahead, plan something, look ahead, know that you do not deserve all those things. Okay. So we will take one by one now. So create a safety plan. So to create a safety plan, you should include the name and the contact of the person with whom you will take shelter or take help. It can be a NGO, shelter for women if it is safe and reliable, or it can be a relative, a friend, a colleague, or someone. But obviously, that should be a safer place as compared to the present place. Then what are the important items you want to bring before you leave? So write the name of all the important items. It can include bank documents, your original documents of education and work, uh, your medications, or some of the important things. Maybe your laptop, mobile, charger, all those things. Make list. If it is a winter clothes. If it is raining, rainy season things, and all those things. If you are taking your children with you, then children books, their tiffin, water bottle, compass, bags, school uniform, everything, because you don't want child's education to get affected. So make the list of all those things. As a marriage counselor, you will help the client make those lists, right? She is in a traumatic scenario, she may forget. So you help her write the list. Steps to increase safety at work, school, church, and stores, all those things. And think of what are the also you ask the client and note down in your paper, at least for the time being, that what are the reasons the client doesn't want to leave the relationship. Okay, what are the barriers? And now your work is also to educate the client how to overcome those barriers. It can be through lawyer help or some other help. Okay. And remember that as per the Domestic Violence Act of India, so it's not necessary that victim has to file the complaint. Anyone, anyone who has the knowledge of violence can file the complaint, and that violence can include any kind of violence: physical, emotional, financial, or verbal. And the person, the against whom abuser, it need not be a related person. It need not be husband. It can be in-laws. It can be anyone with whom the woman is sharing the shelter as per the Domestic Violence Act. Okay. So the case can be filed against anyone with whom the woman is sharing the shelter, right? Even if it is not related by blood or any relation. And the complaint can be filed by any person, even not related to the victim. Okay. And the third component of Domestic Violence Act is it's not necessary that the woman should be married. It can be live-in relationship as well, or it can be any relationship. Correct. So that is very good point, Rashmi. I was going to come to that. You should not influence the client to take up some decision and make her very bold. If she's not going to do it, if she's not from that personality style, if she does not have a backup, she cannot do all those on the basis of some support from a marriage counselor. Okay. You might be bold. So don't put your courage into her heart and make her take some big decision or big step she will regret. Okay. So allow her to take her own decision. If she says she wants to get out of and she wants steps to get out of, then you will help her make a plan. Good point. Build a safety network, identify the people whom you can trust and who will support you. It can be friends, family, colleague, community, or some church, or some organization, or some NGO, right? Write down why you left the relationship, and remember that whenever you want to go back or you have the impulse to go back, right? So read this letter again and why you should not go back. Put yourself first. So remember why you left in the, put yourself first. So write down the points why you want to get out of the relationship. Write down the points what are the barriers, and write down the points what is effect on you, impact on you or effect on you, which is if you continue in this relationship, right? Your low self-esteem, confidence will go, you will have your emotional deterioration, you may land up in depression, all those things you write down. Okay, and remember these points. And whenever you forget, go back to this paper, right? Um, if it is not a marriage, if it is like a dating scenario or some boyfriend, girlfriend, and if you feel that something is not good, something is misleading, or something is not safe, educate the premarital couple or the girl to identify such scenarios. And if you have the gut instinct that something is wrong, move out of that scenario, right? Immediately go home or call someone and get out of. Work towards becoming independent. So this is very big statement, telling the client, okay, go work towards becoming independent. If she has some education background, she can do that. If she does not have, that is going to be challenge. Even after education background, finding a job is the responsibility of the client, right? You cannot call some people and give her a job ready made. She will not do it. Okay, because if you give something ready made, people do not value even if they need it. Okay. Find support groups and organization. In India, the support groups, I'm not sure how many are there and how many are real. Okay, so there are some countries where they have support group system and all those things. In India, typically, those who come from Catholic background, so some of the churches, they have the support system, right? And some of the NGOs, they are doing good work to provide the support and all. And some of the NGOs, you will need to identify how much they really support. Therapy is one of the important thing. So either you take up therapy to maintain your own emotional balance, or take up therapy for your spouse, or take up therapy for yourself because you are going through some condition which is causing turbulence in your relationship, or you take up some counseling sessions to protect your emotional balance so that you do not go crazy, right? So all those can be reason for therapy. This is personal therapy or individual counseling. Other is marriage relationship counseling. If you think you want to continue the relationship, you want to salvage the situation, and you can patch up, your spouse can patch up. So come to me for marriage relationship counseling. I will do two things. One, I will identify what are the causes by running various tests on you. Second, through couple activities, through my advice, I will tell you how to patch up. So Neeraj is asking a very good question and very practical question. So how to suggest a client to face up the society and friends? We cannot, right? That depends on clients' upbringing, self-esteem, confidence, parental support, brother support, emotional, moral support, financial support, society support, all those things, right? Someone may be highly influential, but she may be afraid of the blame, the guilt, the shame, and all those things, embarrassment in the society. He or she, right? Remember, the victim can be both. So, and they are not open to come out. Someone can come from a relatively inferior place. Inferior place includes low self-esteem, low confidence, low trust, low emotional support, moral support, socio-economic support, lot of dependencies, and all those things. Okay, or health issues and all those things. Then that person cannot be influenced by anything outside. So the decision has to be for the client. Okay. Neither the lawyer can influence nor the marriage counselor should influence. And that is one of the important reasons that you should not put yourself in the shoes of the client. Okay. Do not think what you would do if you were the client. And do not influence. Right. Ask the client what they want and help them what they want. Okay. If the client wants divorce, it is none of your business to try to influence the client. No, you come out and patch up. If the client wants to stay together, none of your business to decide and say, no, you are now terrible couple, separate out. So don't play God, right? And don't give your examples to the client. Okay. So Neeraj, very good question. Thank you for bringing, but the answer is very tough. So how to encourage someone to face society and friends? It is tough, and it's a threshold. So I will give you example. Okay. So for example, this is a threshold. Okay. So this is the difficulties in the marriage, and this is the embarrassing level. Like if this embarrassment level is crossed, she will disclose to the society. Okay. So someone may have this embarrassment level low. Okay. Okay. I can tolerate a lot of embarrassment. I will disclose it immediately. Even if someone has less difficulties in marriage, she will disclose to family and friends. Right? Someone may have high tolerance level, okay, or low embarrassment, right? So if the difficulties are very high, then only I will disclose to, even then I will not disclose to society and friends because I get embarrassed very fast. Okay. So tolerance is high, embarrassment is low. You understood? And these things are decided by the upbringing, personality style, and a lot of scenarios which we may not be able to influence as marriage counselor. So at the max, you can tell the client to look forward to yourself, your emotional well-being, your children, and all those things. But it depends how much she wants to take up. Okay. Don't put the client in an influential position that, okay, go leave the husband, okay, go file the FIR, okay, go file the police, go to the lawyer. It will not work out if she is not of, if she doesn't want that really, because that will be going to be temporary and that will spoil the relationship more. Okay. So always ask, what do you want from me? And never take up a relative as your client, especially for marriage counseling. Because you will always have your bias and the client will also manipulate the story and will not disclose you the truth. Any questions? I'll wait for questions. Please ask. So these are the steps to get out of relationship in an abusive relationship. There are 9 steps. Some are practical, some are statements to be said, but difficult to apply in real life. Okay. What intervention, my dear Nupur? Nupur, you want to unmute? Raise your hand if you want to unmute. Yeah, please. I mean, don't raise your hand like this. Raise from the reaction button at the bottom. So that, yes, good.
Thank you, sir, for listening. So, sir, actually, one of my friends, she's not a friend, she stays in the same community as me. And a lot of us are aware of the fact that she's in an abusive relationship. But be it for kids' sake or, as the society, maintaining a pretense for society, she's not willing to do anything about it. And when we can see it is taking a toll on her. Although she's keeping up a very brave front. So, but, a lot of times we have tried to, speak to her, try to convince her to do something about it. And she says that, no, it's fine. I'm managing. So is there some way we can intervene? And her husband is, and she's very afraid. She said, please don't say anything to him because he's nice. I mean, he is nice that way, but she says that he's very good with the kids and he's nice. So I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to insult him. If other people get involved, he's likely to get insulted, and I don't want to bring shame on the family and things like that. So she says that please do not say anything to him. But so okay, is there some way we can intervene, or should we intervene at all, or should we just let it be?
Just in case, Nupur. So if this person is a very close family member, like a real sister, real brother, or where you have the influence to change their relationship dynamics because you have been there since the beginning of the relationship or the formation of the relationship or marriage. And this both couple, they will listen to you. Only in that scenario, you will intervene. Right? As a neighbor living in the same apartment building, we have no right to intervene in others' life. If, especially, both of them wants to be left alone, whatever they are doing, right? If you want to be adventurous, the law allows you. Okay. So Domestic Violence Act says that anyone who is aware of the domestic violence can file the FIR, right? So now what will happen with their relationship or what will happen with your relationship with them, you can guess, okay?
Right.
But if the wife says that she wants to maintain or continue whatever is there, then it is okay. Second is that from outsider, it is very difficult to say that outsiders feel that relationship is not good and wife is saying good. If she is adjusting in that relationship, then we have no right to intervene, right? And another remember thing that as an outsider, we may have a different purview, okay? Because we are seeing the only negative part, probably. The wife, she is seeing the wholesome picture, her financial dependence, her family, society, her picture in front of others, family's image, husband's image, her image, children, financial issues, all those things. And she's also comparing the difficulties versus good part. Okay. After weighing the difficulty versus the good part, benefit versus risk ratio, if she thinks that, okay, the benefit of staying in the relationship are more, good, stay. Right. Now, if we want to help the couple, that depends if the couple asks us the help.
Right.
As a neighbor, we have no right to intervene. Okay. You can intervene only if either the couple says, or if it is such a close relationship where you are authority, hey, what are you doing? Start behaving like this from tomorrow with your wife. I'm talking to you because I'm your elder sister, something like that.
Right.
If we have that authority, because there are relationships like that. Okay. So either you have a friend who is going through turbulent and some scolding, some reprimand to the spouse or some corrective actions to the wise wisdom to the spouse will help the relationship. In that you can intervene. Okay. But probably in this scenario, she knows that if you talk to her husband, the relationship will spoil that, okay, you are talking behind my back about bad things in the whole society, right? So, and she will have a very turbulent life because, right?
Correct. Right. That was actually what Shena Banerjee is asking. That is also my question, that does she even know, and in my conversation with her, it's not even clear that if she even regards that, understands what abuse is.
Correct. So that's what I'm asking, my dear. See, I tell you. So there are people, okay, if you tell them that, okay, your handwriting is bad, so they will laugh, they will smile. Okay, so all kind of people. So there are people who will laugh and say, yeah, my handwriting is bad. I like it that way. Then there are people, they will smile and say, then there are people, oh, come on, I know your handwriting. Your handwriting is like, what is that? Ant is walking on the floor, something like that. And someone will be like completely hopeless case and gone case, will slap or scold you or abuse you, right? So there are all types of people, right? If someone is like, if you are a third party, okay, one person is saying to this person, your handwriting is bad. As a third party, if you are at this level, you say, no, my handwriting is very good, right? You are not going to say to this person, no, don't laugh. You yourself and you say, no, my handwriting is good, your handwriting is bad. You understood?
Yes, yes.
Your perspective of abuse, not her perspective, right? You may think that if your husband scolds you one day, that is abuse. If your husband shouts at you, that is a definition for you as abuse. But for her, okay, that is a natural part. Yeah, I also scold him. Okay, I have my upbringing that my parents used to scold each other and they used to fight. That was a normal, right? You understood?
Right, right.
You may have seen that parents have a physical violence also, and still it is a normal, right? So we are not here to go to their home and destroy their marriage. Hey, no, you know that this is physical abuse. You come with me and go and file FIR and destroy your whole spoil, right? Destroy your children and marriage and all. We cannot and we should not, right? So everyone has their own definition of getting offended, and everyone has their own definition of abuse.
Correct.
Yeah, Sheena. So Sheena has another add-on, some interesting thing.
Right. So what if, but we explain to the client that the situation, whatever the situation that she is in, is affecting her. So maybe she is losing her self-esteem. Maybe she's losing her confidence.
Yes.
Maybe she's crying all the time, but she's saying that this is not abuse. So what do we do in such a situation?
So this is a hypothetical case we're talking, or this is a case of someone who is very close to you. And in real world, as a marriage counselor, a woman is not going to come to you and say, hey, actually I'm in an abusive relationship, but I don't know, am I in an abusive relationship? Right?
But maybe they have a question that the threshold of abuse, like the way you explained, sometimes just a little bit of scolding could be abuse, sometimes even a hitting could not be abuse. So the threshold, so whatever the threshold is, can we identify that as what is affecting to her, or how do we identify the situation? Maybe she'll ask, what is the right thing to do,
If he comes to you, then okay, it is a very hypothetical scenario that someone unknown client will walk into you and will say, hey, Sheena, you are a nice marriage counselor. I will tell you one secret. I'm in an abusive relationship, but I don't know I'm in an abusive relationship. Correct. This doesn't happen in the practice. The question what you are asking is more about someone you know probably. Correct. A friend or a relative, someone. And that's why you think that she's in an abusive relationship, but she cannot come out of it, or she does not know that she's in an abusive relationship, right? So we as an outsider, even if we are a relative, we should not judge that. If the couple is okay with that, then unless you have that decision making right, that if it is your child or your parent or your sibling, where you have the decision making right to make them separate out, right? Otherwise, for a client perspective, if the client is not saying that she's in an abusive relationship, we cannot make her realize that no, you are in an abusive relationship. Come, I will make you convince. I will convince you, right? So this is a hypothetical case. You understand? And that is the reason you should not take a relative as your client in marriage relationship, because you will always be biased on one side. Whatever, I tell you another story. Okay. Typically, when after marriage, when the girl says something to her parents, anything, her parents are going to be very sensitive, right? Oh, he said this to you. Oh, the Nanad said this. Oh, your mother-in-law said this. Even if it was probably not to be oversensitive sometimes, but because they are parents, because someone is a sister, because someone is a brother, they are taking in a very hypersensitive manner, right? That is why the role of marriage counselor. If, for example, I tell you, for example, if the client says, that like you ask, what was the last fight? Sometimes some brides, young brides, they will say, every time I cook Chinese, he is always pointing that I forget the salt or I put more salt. Okay. But other food is appreciating, and that is the reason that I don't like him. You understand? This is such a very basic fight. Okay. And probably if she says this to her parents, I see that. I will talk to your husband and put some sense in him, right? Because he is a father, very protective, right? But as a marriage counselor, you will say, do not react next time. Okay. So put less salt from the next time and give him separate on the table salt so he can put on his own. So you as a marriage counselor, you are not biased. So you give a practical solution. But the relative will always be, that is a abuse, you threatened our, you understood? So this was just a hypothetical example. Uh-huh. Correct. So Rashmi has given a very good example, right? So sometimes what happens is that the newlywed, she will discuss every minute detail with her parents or a friend or a sister. And then parents and sister are always conscious. Okay, is she happy? Is she happy? Is she happy? Then they will start evaluating every statement. Was it good? Was it happy statement? Was it bad statement? Was it good statement? Bad statement? Then sometimes they react. So you have to educate the newlywed. Don't discuss every detail, every statement with the family. It is life. You are not perfect. Your spouse is not perfect. No marriage is perfect. You are not a Barbie doll. You are a human being with a real life, lot of troubles. Okay. If certain things are something, if it is manageable, it's okay. If you think it is not manageable, then discuss with us. Okay. And most of the things we think not manageable, they are cognitive distortion, right? If your husband is not answering phone, understand that he must be busy. He is not with other girlfriend. Okay. So you need to educate this newlyweds. And nowadays, the culture is like very thing, in most of the so-called developed countries, 50% divorce rate. So every marriage, one spouse is already divorced. So bad. You go to some Asian countries, by the age the girl reaches 30, she has 7 marriages, 5 marriages. Okay. Now the trend is happening in India also, very shocking. Okay. You see, like maybe in your community, in your family, or in your city, or in your society apartment, some girls after marriage, 1 year, 6 months, 1 month, they come back. And you ask, what was the reason you came back? Hey, he stopped me from going to pub. Okay. I wanted to go night out with my girls, and his parents were very dominating, and they abused me by saying you cannot go to night out with your girls, and they stopped me from going. So you're like, is the in-laws crazy or this girl is crazy, right? Okay. Then sometimes anything, any small thing. Okay. Sometimes the girls now become oversensitive. Okay. The boy has become oversensitive. So fighting for certain very minute things, right? So you have to educate this young, stay married at least for 1 more year and then decide. Okay, because the second marriage is not going to be easy. Yeah. Yeah, Savita. And then she.
Yes, sir. So sir, here I wanted to know, see, like uh, one partner want to leave her husband or wife, but other one don't want to leave her, and he's trying to like blackmail or abuse more, and he's not letting her to leave. So, here she want to leave. Then how we can build more confidence on her, or she is fully scared completely, and I don't know how to make her to get out
This
of.
question, Savita, very good and very practical question. Many of us have one relative who is going through this problem.
Yes,
And
yes.
we are asking this question because that person is a relative. That person is not a real
Oh, yes,
client.
how you know?
Because
Yeah, it is like in relatives zone.
a
Yes.
real client will never come to us with this problem.
Mm, yes.
As this real problem now, she will not be our client. She will be client for a lawyer.
Mm,
Okay. And that is a tough thing. Now, how much you have influence in her personal life, in her marriage, or how much you can support her, whatever reason that is stopping her. If her reason barriers, what are the barriers? Someone might have barriers: financial, embarrassing, guilt, shame, blackmail, society, children, parents, independence, all
She
those.
just have blackmailing issues, sir. Only blackmail. Rest all are fine.
Are you
Only
equipped
blackmail.
as Sevita, are you equipped to protect her from any blackmails?
No, not sure.
Then keep your mouth,
Sir,
right?
how to give her at least confidence
Yeah,
somehow?
yeah. Okay, if anything happens, I will protect you. Okay, if he blackmails you, I will blackmail him. If you don't have that power, then you cannot do much, my dear.
We are like she has family support, and we are trying to give as I know personally from she teams these all.
Relative, she's just a friend or colleague, right?
Yes,
Right? Confirm
yes.
diagnosis. Now I could guess it because of your wordings, right? Who are you to influence her then, right?
No, at least as a counselor.
She and her parents will manage. Huh?
She's
Okay.
not sharing with her parents.
Then what can you do? If you really want to do, go to police, go to NGO, go to her husband and
But
talk.
he's not scared of them also.
Then
What is the solution now?
I told you,
From her side also.
you are yourself afraid, my dear. As
Hmm.
her friend, you are afraid that if you go to police, police will file a FIR against you. If you go to NGO, NGO will start harassing you. You are afraid. Then that wife is going to be so much afraid. You even cannot assure your safety. How can you assure her safety, my dear?
Yes.
Then you step out now.
Hmm.
Tell her that only sensible thing you can do as a friend. You convince her to disclose this to her parents. If she has real issues and she wants to come out of relationship, if she does not have a real issues and she's talking this office talk just to gain your acceptance or your attention, or she doesn't want to come out of your relationship, as an office colleague you neither have right nor anything
Yeah, true.
towards a relationship.
Yes.
Okay. And you
Okay.
not even her relative, not mother, not her sister or any sibling who will control her life.
Yes, yes.
You cannot even support her.
Yes, sir. Hmm.
And good, anyways, good. So typically we have someone in our life where we have concern, we want to help, but we are helpless sometimes.
Yes, sir.
Good question, Savita. I like you. So Sheena, yes,
So
from
how
study.
so how do you handle the abuser instead of the victim? Like if there are the two couples have come in and one is clearly the abuser or just the abuser has come in, how do you handle him and approach towards therapy, or what do you really do?
This is again a hypothetical client. A real client will be a couple coming and saying, Sir, we want marriage relationship counseling. Can you help us separate out or can you help us come together? Right? A real couple does not come like this. This is again a couple who is your relative. Correct, Sheena?
No, this is just the case. I'm thinking, like, because we know how do we handle victims over cases, but how do we really handle the abuser? What do we tell him? Should we tell him that he's doing things which are wrong, or should we tell him that he should change his behavior, his personality, or whatever it is? Like, how do we really handle the abuser? Even the two couples have come in, one is clearly the abuser. How do we really tackle everything that?
Today, Shraddha, are you there? Shraddha will share you what happens if you try to handle that person. Okay. So I tell you now. So recently, Shraddha, she's a gynecologist, okay, in Jamnagar. So she was managing a couple for gynae reason. And in front of her, the guy was verbally and probably physically abusive to the wife. Then wife started crying. So Shraddha took the wife in a separate chamber, tried to convince her or counsel her to calm down. That's it. the husband came in the other chamber and said, "Hey doctor, what are you doing? You are trying to influence my wife to file FIR and you are doing this." And he tried to get physical abuse with the doctor. Okay. So as a marriage counselor, this is again a hypothetical scenario. Okay. Here, there are things we tell the client that you take up some support system, but we forget that there are support system. So the support system is law enforcement agencies, police, NGO, lawyer, right?
But that's only when the victim comes alone, right? What if the couple have come together and the woman is expressing all her problems with the husband and he's sitting right there?
Very
So
good.
how do we?
The question is the husband open to listening? In your client case, is the husband open to listening?
Maybe yes, maybe not. Like maybe not.
First, so ask the husband now, sir.
So we'll
If I give you
ask
some,
him to step out.
no, that will
Okay.
the so many things. He will not come again with his wife. He will not allow
Right,
to
right.
come again because he is afraid that you are influencing his wife to do something wrong. Okay, in his mind. So, so you ask the husband very politely, sir, if I tell you certain things, will you follow that to improve your relationship? Are you open to certain actions, certain steps, certain behavioral changes that will accommodate your wife happily with you?
Yeah. What if he says no? Because obviously, if he says yes, there's a solution. So if he says no,
So actually,
like
if
I'm right, like he'll say no, I'm the one at right. Like I'm doing everything correct. I support her. I give her financial independence, but then I'm abusive towards her.
then you have to ask why. What is your problem here? Seriously, tell me now. He is saying that he's supporting you. He is not abusive, and you are saying he's abusive. Can you explain what is that in your language? Then is it like
No,
does
like for example, he's emotionally abusive, but he's supporting her and everything. But
give
he
it?
doesn't know that he's being emotionally abusive, and
Okay.
he's adamant not to change.
Okay, so there are two aspects. One is there is a real emotional abuse because the person is either a psychopath, black triad personality, or a narcissist. Real abuse and will not accept the mistake. Second can be threshold is low. The wife is oversensitive. Okay, right? He is not answering my phone when he's in office, or he scolded me that day because the salt was less. Then you ask what was the wording he scolded you, and she will say something which you think that really was it a scolding. Okay, so try to understand everyone has their own different threshold. Okay, so probably the husband has a high threshold. He thinks from his cultural background or his upbringing background that okay, saying this statement is not hurtful, and she comes from such a delicate flower background that any statement is affecting her. This is second scenario. The third scenario can be that cognitive distortion. Okay, the husband is okay, the wife is thinking anything, whatever he says, she assumes that it has a wrong meaning. Number four can be cognitive distortion on the part of the husband. Okay, the husband thinks that okay, doing this, manipulating this, or doing this is okay, absolutely okay, right? So you need to identify, sit with the couple in this. Then the couple is oh, they have come to you, they are talking to you. It means you can ask the examples now. You ask the wife, can you give the example in front of the husband? Then you ask the husband, sir, you think that this is relevant? Can you clarify so that you're my objective? I'm not the judge, I'm not the God. So you clarify to your wife now because both of your objectives to stay together and stay happy, right? So it is better to clarify certain miscommunications and not to be defensive. If she thinks that this example, this episode was not wrong, not correct, so either you justify that, or if she still feels that you are wrong, it is better to admit mistake. Okay, right? Or if you identify that husband is a narcissist, psychopath, or a black triad, then there is a limited hope what you can do. So ask the examples. Okay, what was the last example? Give me 3 examples in the last 3 months. Give me the last example in detail. Ask both of them now. So if he's saying I'm supporting her emotionally, all those things, okay, then what is the problem here? Come on. Then ask the husband, what do you think is the problem for her? Why do you think it is a problem for her? Then ask wife, what is the problem? Why do you think it is a problem? Okay, good. So it was a good discussion, good case studies. And remember to use the test. Don't forget that fundamental thing you can use in marriage, scientific if you want. If you want to have your marriage implied on others' marriage, then it is going to spoil everything. Okay. But use the relationship test, advise some couple activities. When you use relationship, the client knows that you have used certain scientific ways, scientific tools to help them identify what are the gaps. And base your questions on that then. Right? So in this case, probably in Sheena Banerjee's client case, you will use the respect, stonewalling, critic. Probably you will try to use how do you handle criticism in your marriage. That relationship test you will use. Okay. So it might come out that wife is very sensitive, or it might come out that husband is less sensitive. Okay. Or it might come out as just as small, stupid things. Okay. And if ask the husband very bold question, what do you want? You want to separate? You want to stay together? And what is your problem? Come on here. Okay. So that's great. Anything? Any other question? We meet again, right? So fellowship students will meet on Friday. Yes, Sheena. So you are yet to get the books. You will get it. You will find it. So the books will include the test, and it will also include the couple activities. Plus, it will also include certain new content. Plus theoretical things. Okay. Theoretical gyan of marriage counseling and the steps. Right. But the more useful thing you will find is the test. Okay. Tests are very interesting. You will just enjoy using it. Okay. So for fellowship students, we'll meet Friday. Friday, we will try to understand um, where to bring clients, how to bring client, how to convert the clients. Okay. Then some part of digital marketing. And Monday, we will meet for psychology counseling and child counseling. Right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a great time. And Wednesday, we'll meet for marriage, relationship counseling, and family therapy. Thank you, Dr. Lily. So nice of you. Have a great time.